Hey guys, so today is the first Friday of the month, so we will be doing our Sangha vow recitation and our Pastor's vow renewal shortly, as well as our monthly Doju Shukran Puja. So all of that will be done in our room today. So that's why I've got my hair cut so that I'm nice and clean for vow recitation and also for puja. I've spent today editing a video. It's with a lady by the name of Shakila Rajendra. I met her 3-4 years ago, something like that, when she interviewed me for Marie Claire. So after the interview, we actually kept in touch, and I have become friends since. So I've interviewed her, and very very smart lady. She won a scholarship to go to the School of Oriental and African Studies, SOAS, in London, to do a master's in global policy and climate change. I think that's what it's called. So I wanted to find out from her, what she's been up to, how she's been doing since the movement control order was imposed, because she actually lives near Sungai Buloh Hospital, which is the epicenter of the COVID-19 fight in Malaysia. And she also lives near Selayang, which is, as you guys know, one of the latest places where a cluster of COVID-19 cases has been discovered. So she's actually in the red zone. So I wanted to find out from her how she's doing and what she's doing to cope and all of that. So that video is coming up for you shortly. I hope you guys enjoy it. If you've got any questions, please feel free to let me know. Don't forget to like the video, to share the video, to subscribe to the YouTube channel, and to like and follow the Facebook page. And if you've got any questions, leave me a comment. And if you've got any ideas for content, then drop me a message as well. I would be happy to hear from you. Like I mentioned before, these videos are being done for you guys. So let me know what you want to see. All right. It's basically been raining the whole day today, so perfect day to do video editing. So hope you guys enjoy the video, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
How's everything now that you are a free woman?
A free woman. Good. Actually, things are getting better. I've been job hunting. I've been, what else I've been doing? Being a meow me.
Wait, can you explain why you are job hunting for people who may not necessarily know?
Okay. So basically,
What did you
I
use?
actually quit. Yeah. So I used to be a sustainability consultant, but at a big four. But it's not for me.
Yeah.
I actually quit my job before MCO started.
Yeah.
So I'm still holding on to my my equipment from said company.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because we can't give it back.
Right.
Because we have to go to the office to give it back. You know?
Yeah.
So so I'm officially quit.
Yeah.
But so anyway, why I quit? Because it's quite a toxic environment. And then as a environmental person, like as an activist, I like to think of myself as an activist and things. It wasn't. I think Big Four life is not really geared towards sustainability. I think is the impact is yeah, the impact to me is not very social or environmental. It's more financial. So I couldn't really see myself. I think like championing anything there. Also, I think it's quite a toxic environment. So I didn't just quit. My entire team quit within 1 week of each other.
Oh my God.
So yeah, 3 of us left within the week. So it's been interesting because all our last days were during MCO.
Yeah.
So I was working up until beginning of this month. Yeah. But funnily enough, the team that's supposed to take over, they are still contacting me up to today. So I think I'm going to give them until the 30th of April as a cut-off date to keep contacting people who have already left in the last 20-something days.
Yeah, this has been almost a month since you left.
Yeah, it's been almost a month. It's gone by really quickly.
Yeah.
The first week of unemployment, I literally was like, a slug.
Taking
And
time
then
off.
doing all the things. Yeah, actually, I was doing all the things that everybody, is trying to get through MCO with. Cooking, cleaning, I did a whole spring clean. I cleaned areas of my house that I've never cleaned before. Then my 2 cats keep me busy because every morning it's some kind of drama will happen. Just yesterday, they knocked down my plants.
Oh,
I'm
no.
looking over the side because they are up to something again. Now.
I saw on your IG, your Instagram, like a whole tasting menu of Korean food.
Oh yeah. So I'm by no means a good cook, but during MCO I've suddenly become a cook.
Yeah.
I'm quite lucky because one of my really good friends lives in two apartment blocks away from me. We live in the same apartment.
Oh, that's nice.
So we're in the same area, and she's also alone. Right. So it's been nice to kind of like exchange food, and we've been cooking for each other because I'm not very good at portion sizing.
Okay, fair enough.
So I think you've seen on my Instagram, I've decided to cater for a party every time I decide to cook. So at least I've been sharing with my friend. Yeah. But then every time I start cooking, I cook dinner and dessert. So it's been quite good. Yeah. I've harnessed a bit of my Korean ajuma skills as well.
I saw a lot of kimchi dishes.
Yes, because before the lockdown happened, the only supermarket that didn't have a queue was the Korean Mart.
Oh, convenient.
So I went there and I bought like a 2 kilo tub of kimchi.
Oh my god!
Yeah, before MCO started, I figured kimchi goes with everything. So I've been making like kimchi fried rice, kimchi soup, stews.
The kimchi jjigae.
Yeah, the kimchi jjigae. And like I made that with you in mind because I made a vegetarian kimchi jjigae.
You're still doing meatless Mondays, even at home.
I'm quite good. Last week I was meatless the whole of last week because it was Earth Day.
Well done.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to buy less meat because I was reprimanded.
Oh, really?
I was reprimanded by a fascist vegan.
Oh my god! On behalf
she's not even vegan. The worst vegans are the ones that are vegan because of their own ethical beliefs and not the religious beliefs or anything. And she was like, how can you be an environmentalist and still eat meat? And I was like, I don't eat a lot of meat, but sometimes, I make exceptions. So I was reprimanded. She was like very passive aggressive. And then all my friends, because we are from Penang, we're like, you can't be vegetarian from Penang. It's just not possible.
Last time I went to a char kway teow uncle, I told him I don't want prawns, I don't want cockles, I don't want
you don't want them.
And then I told him I don't want egg as well. Then he was like, huh? How do you eat? And I was like, it's literally just
like,
okay.
And tauge.
The tauge and the kuchai, the garlic chives, and that's
Yeah. So I'm going to make today my project for today. So I've got little projects for every day so that I don't get bored and fall into an MCO depression.
Yeah.
So my project for today is me and my friends, my Penangite chat group. My friends who have known for 10 years, not 10 years, so since I was 10 actually.
Oh wow. So okay.
Since I was 6 or 10, some of them came into school later. We one of us shared a char kway teow recipe that's very easy to make. Yeah, that's very easy to make. And char kway teow, I mean, without the pork fat, is actually essentially vegetarian.
Yes.
So I don't have pork fat, so I'm going to make a vegetarian char kway teow.
Can you send me the recipe?
Yeah. If it's if it's successful. apparently it's just because you have to make the rice cake a day before.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been the one that's been a few failures in the chat group. So now I'm a bit worried about
So you
making
making the rice cake today.
Because the rice, it depends on the rice flour and the consistency and all that. So I'm gonna try. So you have to make the rice cake yourself.
Yep.
And then like leave it overnight and then make it with the char kway.
Oh my god.
You know, the char kway cup.
How are you getting supplies in KL? To do all these like cooking projects, how are you getting your supplies in KL?
Oh, I can still, I live next to like 2 or 3 supermarkets within like 2 minutes away.
Oh.
So the Aeon is like the closest one. Aeon, small one. Aeon is like 3 minutes away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost walkable distance.
Yeah.
There's a Tesco that I haven't been to yet, but my Tesco is also only like 5 minutes away.
Right.
So my area is quite well connected, and there are no roadblocks as well because it's just within my area. So I go.
A lot of people.
I've been going to shop maybe once a week. So the optimal time also to go and shop is before 10 o'clock. But my supermarkets have been very good. They open 1 hour earlier, and they don't open 1 hour earlier, but they designate the first hour of the day to to frontliners. So if you show that you're a medical worker or any other frontliner worker,
yes,
you get to shop for 1 hour earlier. So the supermarket is closed, but it's open to frontliners.
Well, that's really nice.
That's really good.
I saw a lot of reports about how medical workers after shift, they're getting frustrated because they go to the supermarkets and get out, or it's like out of hand sanitizer, things that they actually need.
Yeah. So I think and also one of my supermarkets, I think it's Village Grocer, they actually put aside for frontliners, and then they give a 10% discount as well. So I think that's quite good. The supermarkets are doing that kind of thing for them lah.
Straightforward.
I also live in a red zone because I'm about 10 km away from Sungai Buloh Hospital.
Oh.
So at Selayang.
Yeah.
So there are quite a lot of frontliners that live around this area, I would think. Because I hear ambulances and all that going past.
I was actually going to ask are you hearing a lot of ambulances and
quite a lot lah. I mean, like I know I share on the Instagram my silent nights. Every night that it's silent, I will do a video.
Yeah.
But then I think then you get to hear the ambulances and all that.
The skies are so lit up. Like now you can see Genting.
I mean the sky is amazing at the moment because it's raining also, but there's so little pollution that Genting is getting clearer and clearer. We were like, one day we'll see Mount Kinabalu.
I was talking to my friend from Nepal yesterday. He said that from his house now in Kathmandu, you can actually see all the mountains. You couldn't see them before, and it's like the first decades. So now he can see the mountains from his home. So he goes out onto the roof and looks at the mountains.
You can see the mountains. I mean, I was in Kathmandu 20 years ago. It's almost been 20 years already. And at that time, my dad got into a lot of trouble because he wrote a poem about Kathmandu as being the most polluted city in the world.
Okay.
And I think it still is one of the most polluted cities in the world because it's in a valley and there's a lot of open burning. So he was writing about Kathmandu, and he was talking about it in a metaphorical sense about how it's like being deforested and it's very polluted. And the Malaysian government actually took it as an anti-logging poem because they thought that it was him against logging. And they thought that this metaphorical city was actually referred to Malaysia.
Okay. But
it was actually based on Kathmandu lah, but he got into a lot of trouble. They took his passport and everything.
Wow.
It was big trouble. It was big trouble back in those days.
I think you might actually need to explain who your father is.
My dad's a retired lawyer, but he's more notorious as being I wouldn't say he's notorious for both things, but my dad's actually a a lawyer, activist, human rights activist, as well as a poet. Should I say his name?
Sure. I mean, it's not that hard to Google it, right?
He's already very notorious, so it doesn't really matter if I say his name, although I don't. Yeah. So my dad's name is Cecil Rajendra. So he's best known as being a human rights activist, as well as a poet who writes about a lot of controversial topics. So what else have I been doing to keep sane? Yesterday I attempted Dalgona coffee.
Oh, how did it go?
Don't ask.
Oh no, okay.
when finally yesterday it was semi-successful.
Right, okay.
But before this I tried it with instant coffee, like our local coffee. It didn't work. I tried it with decaf, didn't work. And I was whipping for about half an hour because I was very, very determined.
Muscles.
Very determined. And this is also the first week of my fun employment. So I was like, I have to make this succeed. But then I realized that it only works with like normal instant coffee. So I finally kind of like succeeded, but then it's so sweet that I couldn't drink it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I saw the recipe and like it's so much sugar. It's so much sugar.
It's to make it froth. Yeah, so the sugar actually makes it like froth up and makes it successful, but it's almost undrinkable. I ended up like drinking it with like half a glass of like a huge glass of milk because I couldn't. I was like, oh, okay, so this is Dalgona coffee. I didn't even take pictures of it. Hence ends my attempts.
Yeah, I thought about making a vegan version with nut milk, but I thought maybe the nut milk might make it less sweet.
No. It's fine. Any milk is fine. It's not the milk. It's the coffee and the sugar. That's
the sugar
that's the thing that makes.
Scared me. Like when I saw it, and I was like, I don't think I can have sugar because I take my coffee black with no sugar, like just black.
Yeah. I take like the typical Penang coffee, kopi all with lots of sugar. So okay. I don't mind really sweet coffee, but this one is ridiculous. It's not even coffee. I think it's just like coffee syrup or something.
Yeah. And also, I mean, if I took it, I think I might have to spend more time on my bike, and I cannot do that.
How is that going? Yeah, how is that going? I saw your pictures yesterday of like going around. So how long is your usual route? Like how far is it?
Usually, okay. So before the MCO, I did one round that was 20 kilometers, and then after MCO like was enforced, I stopped cycling for like a month. So like all the progress I made beforehand just kind of like evaporated, right? So I had to start again.
Yeah.
So the first time I got back on my bike, it was like it was literally 5 minutes, and like as soon as I got off the bike, I fell over because my legs were
oh jelly, oh no.
And then I was walking down the stairs, and I was like, oh no, this was a bad idea. Turn around, go back into my room. It's been getting better. So now I the last one I did was about 15 kilometers, and it was okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I came back in 2 weeks, which is encouraging. Yeah, but
that's really good. Yeah. So now you're back on cycling lah.
Every pretty much every day.
Yeah, same thing with me and my yoga, because obviously all my yoga classes had to end.
Yeah.
And then my teacher is still not very good at figuring out this online classes thing. She's like, how do you do it online? I can't see you guys, so what's the point? Then I'm like, but if you just go through a routine, at least I can follow it, So she's done that, but then I did 20 minutes of it, and I had the same thing as you. I started like shaking. After 20 minutes, my legs were shaking, my arms were shaking. I was like, okay, she's so I told my teacher, I said, tone it down a bit, we have to go ama pace, like we always do during the class, like, because we are groaning and moaning, she will go slower.
Where's your yoga teacher based?
She's not based anywhere. She actually does a freelance thing. So we get about like 5 of us together, and then she comes to my friend's apartment, and we do it by the poolside every week. So it's actually very nice. Yeah. So we go to our friends, whoever lives in a nice condo and has a nice space. We used to do it at the teacher's apartment, and then their building just got like their building security was like, oh, you're doing a public activity in a private space, and it was like, it's not public because it's only these people in our class. It doesn't change.
Yes.
Yeah, but I find it quite good, like you have these private classes, because then you kind of become friends with your yoga group as well. And they were very because the yoga group is of other people from my teachers as well, teachers' friends. So there's 5 or 6 of us at the same time, and they were very essential when I was going through my crisis at work and when I was feeling like this is not the job for me.
Yeah. Can you tell everyone what were you actually doing before you joined this present company and also the previous one, the one just before that? So you were studying in the UK, and before that, yeah.
So by my first degree, by nature almost, I'm a writer. Yeah, I'm a writer and a journalist. But for 10, 11 years actually, I was a journalist. I was writing for magazines and various publications here.
Which is how
we met. Yep. So I was working in publishing, in fashion publishing, but I stayed away from the fashion part quite a lot, and did mostly features and talk to women and stuff like that. Before that, I was working at my favorite job ever, which was in an NGO, in an environmental NGO, where I learned a lot about environment and conservation of that. So after 11 years in publishing and realizing that that industry was never really going to flourish in Malaysia, and to actually, I wanted a change of direction as well.
Right.
I got a master's I got a scholarship to do my master's. Yeah. So I went to the UK to do a degree in climate change and energy policy. Yep. So when I came back from the UK, I was at my previous company, which I was at for quite a long time, to look into renewable energy and climate change policy. So that's how I kind of got into corporate sustainability. Because at heart, I'm always going to be an environmentalist. I'm always going to be a writer. So I think corporate sustainability was very interesting, because you looked at a lot of companies and you see how, well, to put it bluntly, people with money can actually champion the cause of alleviating climate change, carbon footprint, and looking at to where they put their money as well. So it's very interesting area. Yeah. I hope to still be in that area, but maybe in a more proactive role. So in the future. Yeah. So, but at the same time, I'm also still a writer. So I still enjoy writing. So that's the other thing that I've been trying to get myself back into, to start writing, but then maybe not writing about this whole industry or this whole like environmental thing. I kind of want to marry my two worlds. Okay. So to talk about like environmental issues, social issues, but in a more light-hearted, fun way. Yeah. And also not to make it so because like I have friends from, like, say, the music industry or the fashion industry, and they're like, Shakila, how can we help with climate change? Because you're the expert, you know. But then, like, how does it all work? How does it all work? And then even, like, you know, these fascist vegans, they're like, oh, you know, if we eat less meat, it means that we are contributing to alleviating climate change. And I said, like, not necessarily. I mean, like, yeah. So it's very simple things that like when you want to talk about the whole issue and how you can make a difference. I just kind of want to make it more fun, more interesting for people, and then like less scary.
Something that people can engage with and it's more accessible.
Yeah. And just make it less scary, you know, because people say like, oh, you worked in a renewable energy company. What is renewable energy? Yeah. And I was like, well, you know, everybody knows what solar panels are and all that, and where energy comes from, wind and solar and all that. But I said that, do you know how much it contributes to actually to carbon footprint if you actually do subscribe to it? But then there's a whole lot of other issues that that makes the industry quite hard to negotiate in this country, or not really in this country, but in this region as well. So it's not going to get. COVID has been a bit of a blessing, but also now people's focus are away from this issue. So I've been seeing a lot of memes by a lot of environmental people, and they were like, if the response to climate change was the same as COVID, imagine what we could have done, because the urgency and the amount of people, like lives who are at risk, is actually the same. It's just that a virus is almost more tangible thing than climate change. So just as many people are dying from that.
It's more immediate, right? So like everyone
So it's
the long nature of climate change.
Yeah, and also because it hit in such a tangible way. You can see the numbers rising, you can see the healthcare system collapsing, and it all happened. The impact of it was within the last 4 months, I would say. So it's tangible. The impact is pretty scary and pretty visible. But climate change obviously is not as, because the impacts are slow but larger, much larger. And in a way, I mean, climate change has contributed. Climate change and the deterioration of environment has contributed to this. So this virus is actually one of, like, I would say, one of the waves of how climate change is starting to affect us. I mean, a lot of people say that, it's because people are eating animals and eating animals that you shouldn't be eating. But why are people eating animals that they shouldn't be eating? And why have they developed this virus that's be able to pass on to humans? It's because the habitats are being compromised, and it's also because people are consuming so much that we're starting to forget about how much damage we're doing to the natural world.
Yes.
So all that, it all ties to each other. Yeah. So and I think also because of the way the world is right now, it's very, very imbalanced in terms of income levels, poverty. So it's actually now we're really seeing the effects of how much climate change is actually going to affect the world's population. But I think COVID-19 is actually giving us a little lens into how bad is actually what's already happening, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
So like you see the imbalance of all these people, poor people being being affected really, really badly.
It's disproportionate, the amount of effect that
completely disproportionate. As well as like looking at migration. So now that like look at Singapore, the migrant workers that are not from the higher income, because I read a very interesting article about the two Singapores and about how there are migrants from two different sides of the poverty scale, right?
Yep.
So they have their worker migrants.
Yeah.
And then they have the expats. Yeah, the expats. and then it's because the whole nation, in a way, or the government didn't even think about their migrant population or the conditions that they're living in. So, and then that's what's caused the spike now, because they completely disregarded a whole section of society that's detrimental to now their health and their economy and everything. So that's happening worldwide. Look at America. They are still directing resources to defense instead of health. So this was one of the things that we discussed when we were studying climate change and policy change. Was actually one of the main things is that governments need to understand that the resources that they're allocating towards health and environmental protection should be more than whatever they're allocating towards economy building and defense and all that. So they said that in fact, like this is I did my degree about 5 years ago, but during that time, they were saying that the American budget for defense is actually enough financing that to actually is what the world needs for global change into climate change. So just their budget for defense is something like, I don't know how many $1 trillion was actually the amount needed to alleviate climate change effects globally.
Yeah.
So that's how crazy, because I think like they've got this budget, like they think like for all economies to go into renewable energy, to alleviate transport, to change the transport system, to stay away from fossil fuels, basically. And that same amount is about how much the American government was allocating to buying guns.
Yeah. No, but
so it's quite crazy.
If
yeah.
The whole situation into account, right? Actually,
yeah.
You analyze it. Essentially, the root cause of it is just greed and selfishness, right? So it turns into a vicious cycle, because your greed and selfishness is what leads you to exploit the environment, and your greed and selfishness is what leads you to protect your interests overseas. So the greed and selfishness feeds into a higher, let's say, military budget, but at the same time, it leads you to create all these environmental issues which are affecting everyone. And so then it's just a certain group of society to bear the majority of the burden or the consequence of your behaviors. And when people start blaming each other and they get distracted from the real issue, like people saying, oh, the Chinese shouldn't eat wildlife, wild animals, right? But conversely, how is it different eating wild animals versus, factory farming pigs and right? There's no difference. So us saying that, like, or let's say, beef, for example, is it's what you should eat. I mean, there's 1 billion people in India who don't think that you should eat beef, right?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a different approach to it. So we stop blaming, oh, you shouldn't do this, you should do this, and you're like, well, at the end of the day, it's all because we're all being selfish. We all just wanted what we thought was best for us. And
I think the one thing that's come out of this is that a lot of people are saying, oh, we're all in this together, but they're saying that, oh, overcome this together. But it's like I don't really believe that we're all in this together at the same degree. We're all in this, like you and I are sitting comfortably in our homes with enough food to last us for, I've got enough food to last me the year. So, but somebody else could be in this and they don't have enough food for the next 2 days, So we're not all in this together in the same degree, but we are all in this together in what we can do to kind of come out of this, I think, better people. That's what I hope. But sometimes listening to the chatter out there as well, I think it's the longer this goes on, the more people are starting to understand that you really need to be less selfish, kinder, which is something that I feel like it's so sad, because we've had to have this literally been told to imprison ourselves just to understand the concept of kindness. And I think in the first few weeks of this happening, I was still like getting really mad at like my own family members or my own friends, because they couldn't understand that, like, I'm not gonna get it because I'm healthy and all that. I'm like, it's not about you getting it, it's about you passing it to someone who could potentially die because of it. And I think a lot of people
so aggravating.
It is so annoying because like it's a very simple concept. Do you want to kill someone? You think that killing someone is less of a crime than killing yourself? I mean, like, obviously, I don't know. I like I think the basic concept is just don't harm anyone.
all these
but
people,
yeah,
like,
a lot of people were like
heroes and like, oh, you know, it's not gonna hurt me. It's fine. You guys are like overselling this. You're exaggerating. It's not that bad. It's fine for us to be close to. And you're like, you know, it's not about you. It's about like
it's not about you.
And diabetes and we're old. It's not about you.
I think that's what you mentioned, like it's about selfishness and I mean, like even consumption, it's selfishness. People just don't have this sense of community anymore. I think largely in areas of society where you are more affluent, the sense of community is really, you know, it's almost disappearing. I mean, you look in like these cities like in Japan and all that, like solitude is something that people are used to. Sense of community is like you don't care about your neighbor anymore. And I think that happens a lot more in more affluent areas. I don't know what money makes you selfish, you know, or money makes you just care only about yourself and all that. It's like some people don't even care about their family, you know. I'm like, you know, you have old people at home, they're like, oh, it's fine, you know. I'm like, oh, okay. So you don't care if your parents get disease and die.
I think the selfishness is actually, you know, it applies across the board, right? So you have like the affluent who are responding to it very differently, but also the people who are from lower income groups. So for example, like let's say middle class who are neither here nor there, right? So many people's first reaction was to hoard and to stock up, right? And that reaction also is the underpinning trait to that is selfishness. It's me first before everyone else. And you know, I mean, if you take some time to think about it, okay, fine, you hoard toilet paper, fine, you hoard hand sanitizer, you don't get COVID, but someone else might get it and then pass it to you. So everybody needs resources, but you know, people's first reaction is self-preservation. And I think regardless of what background we have, I think everyone's still got that seed of selfishness in them. It's just how much their ability to actually play it and help it manifest. You know, that might be the difference.
I think that's definitely right. I mean, even for myself, like in the beginning, I was like, oh my God, you know, like I should be hoarding, I should be getting some like supplies to last me. I have enough supplies to last me 2 weeks, that's for sure. But then like when I see people like suddenly, you know, at the supermarket, you know, buying eggs and rice, and I'm like, oh my God, maybe I need it too, you know. But but then it's kind of like self-awareness to kind of just understand that, oh, actually I don't need this, or I need this, but I can also give it away. I won't die without giving away some of it. So even like I've been thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, I'm jobless for the foreseeable future, but it's not an urgent thing. I'm very lucky in the sense that like I know I'm going to come out of this and I still have enough to survive the next 4 to 6 months or whatever. But can I afford to actually give some of my money away at this point where I also don't have an income? And I'm thinking, I can actually, because I can still, like, whatever like little bit that I put aside to maybe buy more supplies for the next 6 months, I can take a portion of it, a small amount, even if it's whatever you can contribute, and give it to someone else, and might make more of a difference. So I think that's kind of the mentality that I think I'm quite heartened to see that people are starting to understand that. So the middle class and all that, they're starting to understand that yes, we are preservation, you know, but also we can start to help others as well, because whatever situation we're going in, someone else is going through something worse. So I'm glad to see like my friends who've all had birthdays during this time, and that they were like, you know what, if it was any other time we will be going out for a meal, why don't we just take a little bit of that, whatever we have spent on presents or meal or other, and donate it away, because at least it's paying it forward. It's not going to make much of a difference to us, basically, but it might make a difference to someone else. So I'm quite, I'm actually quite surprised at how, because this is what I do anyway. I give away however much I can spare. But yeah, I'm quite heartened to see a lot of my friends who are not usually as charitable or not vocally charitable. They are they are starting to like, oh, actually, we really, we're really thankful to the frontliners. In a way, yeah, it's worked out. Imprisoning all of us has unlocked a little bit of kindness in some of us.
Yeah.
But it's also unlocked the nasty side in others.
Yes.
I saw a ridiculous video the other day that this woman in Texas, it has to be Texas, right? This one was the most hilarious video I saw. Was this woman, she was like, we are not going to get it because the Mexicans are going to get it because they drink Corona beer.
Oh my God.
And they drink Bud Light from the can, and the bottle Corona beer is more likely.
Where do people come up with these things?
She was serious. The thing is, she was so serious about this. She was like, I figured it out. It's because I don't drink Corona beer and the Mexicans do. And that's why Mexicans are going to die. We're not. We're fine here in Texas. I'm like, huh?
That's a really, very long correlation to draw. Very, very far out. I would have never even thought of that one. Wow. All these things, you realize that a lot of these sentiments people keep hidden out of politeness or civility, whatever. But when push comes to shove, maybe all the hee hee ha ha is not all that's cracked up to be. Actually, sometimes people can be pretty scary underneath, and like,
yeah. And I think it's not, it's not personal. I think to them, it's wherever they've been brought up, whatever they've been told, it's something that's already been kind of like ingrained in them. It's something like whatever our belief system is, they have it. So you can't really blame them for being like this or for unlocking all this, because I think it's they truly believe it. Like this lady really believed that drinking Corona beer as a Mexican would make you get the virus, because it's something she really believes because of her racism or inherent whatever belief system now.
And the thing is, like you said, it's not their fault, right? So like they had the karma to be born in that situation. We have the karma to be born in our situation, and then how our environment is around us, we end up that is how we think is our sense of reality, and that's how conflict occurs. So like what you think is reality differs from what I feel is reality, and then when it doesn't match, we're like, actually,
it's really crazy. Like, I mean, now like the world is, I mean, we're kind of in the same situation. Everybody is in a same-ish situation. But looking at people's reaction to it is very interesting, because I guess like almost everyone, well, everyone who has access to the internet is privy to information. And then you think that having access to information would give you a wider worldview, or give you more sense of a cure stupidity or ignorance. I always call like stupidity is the biggest virus, the most dangerous virus. But it's also ignorance. But everyone who has the internet, and I'm sure a lot of these people do, has the access to that kind of information. But it's just that they are not in a situation or they are not in a mindset or culture that wants them to even just look a little bit further, or look for that information. So the internet has provided a lot of information to you, but then I don't know, human nature is that they don't even want to accept truths, or everyone has their own truth. I mean, like, there's the internet, there's someone who went to the moon and looked at the earth from the outside, but still people believe that the earth is flat. There are still people who are advocating that the world is flat.
Completely adamant, truly believe.
Adamant, they are like, it does not make sense that the world is round when you can clearly see that it's flat.
Yeah.
But then, and then everybody would be like, but someone went to the moon and took a picture of the planet.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, that's a conspiracy. That's not real. That never happened.
Yeah. No, I mean, having this, talking about that, right? The other day I was thinking that, I was actually thinking about this because sometimes, like if I have someone else's phone or whatever, or someone sends me a screenshot of their newsfeed, and I realize how different their newsfeed appears to mine. And so, you also, what I actually realized was, I'm not sure whether the whole algorithm of showing you things that you enjoy to see is such a great idea, because then it doesn't expose you to other ways of thought, right, and other ways of life. So for example, like someone who's a liberal will only be exposed to liberal thinking, and then someone who's like super conservative will only be exposed to that information and that media and that content. So it kind of reinforces what you already think.
Yeah, so you believe that to be the truth, right?
Yeah. And then then when people like anti-vaxxers, okay, I'm not even gonna put a stance on that or like assert my opinion on that. But when anti-vaxxers say, oh, you guys are like brainwashed by mainstream media into vaccinating, and you don't look beyond mainstream media, actually that portion of their argument I do see some logic too, because I don't also look beyond what I am shown on online on the internet. The adverts that I get are adverts of things that I'd be interested in. All the suggested videos are videos related to stuff that I was previously interested in, and so it just kind of forces.
It's information like I guess, but if you are given information about all views or whatever, it's information overload. We can't process that. It takes a very broadened mind to accept different worldviews. But yeah, exactly, like the anti-vaxxers. I have a former classmate who's completely been brainwashed basically into this cult.
Anti-vaccination, okay.
And she was having an argument with another former classmate who's a doctor,
right?
And she's saying that she was kind of like saying, this whole coronavirus is a conspiracy to make us buy vaccines, and then now we'll all be like totally reliant on modern medicine, when it's all a conspiracy, basically to get you to be hooked onto big pharma,
right?
And doctor was obviously really mad.
I can imagine.
Because she was like, you're just discounting all the doctors who are, and like, if this was a big pharma conspiracy, just ask all the doctors who are now, really trying to look for a cure, and who are like really dying risking everything they're doing to find a cure and to save lives and all that. And it's like, if it was a conspiracy, I think by now, 6 months in, whoever these evil people would have released, the cure already. And she was, and then this anti-vaxxer was just like, oh, you're not seeing the big picture. So that was the whole like argument that I just ate popcorn and
better than Netflix.
But that's exactly your point, right? People live in their own bubble of information. In a way, our response, maybe being Malaysian and being our culture as well, we've taken it a bit better than I would say some other countries, because I think Malaysians still have this sense of community, and muhibaness lah, which I think is quite. And I think also we are a bit relaxed. So even though things are bad, we're like chill, lepak, it's not that bad. So it's like, I think that's in a way that's quite heartening to see, that people are not, well, at least we're not going out and protesting in the streets. But I think our government hasn't done too badly in terms of the financial aid.
It came so fast. It came really fast. And no,
Yeah. Yeah.
the first surprise was the system didn't crash. Okay, I was like, wow. Okay, I put my information in. I was already pre-registered, and I was like, wow, okay. And then I got follow-up emails that were very timely, and it's like, oh, don't forget so you've given us this information. So I did that, and the system didn't crash. And then it came, and it was just magically there one day, and I was like, wow, I was so surprised.
Yeah, so I mean, even, and then as well as our volunteers and all that, they've been really, really proactive. I see a lot of normal citizens going out and coming up with measures to help whoever is in their vicinity that needs help or things like that. So I think it is our culture. I think in a way we're kind of harnessing back a little bit of what we were taught as children, moral and
we're now just one giant kampong, right? Everyone's taking care of
so it's quite good, and my godmother in Penang, she's a nurse, she's a retired nurse, and then she was oh, I still need to go and look after these old people, and I'm like, you are an old person. It's like, oh no, I go to the old folks home, and she's always like, this auntie. My godmother is 72. So
wow.
And she's referring to a 90-year-old auntie. So I think it'll be a while before people actually, people who have the means to. I know that people who are working are also trying to request that they don't go back to work as per normal.
Right.
At least do a shifting where it's not the full workforce back at work. So I think it'll take we won't see normalcy until maybe end of the year, or at the earliest. At the earliest. For myself, I'm giving myself until maybe August or September to get back into a job.
Okay.
But we'll see how. Other than that, I'll probably just start writing and setting up my own thing and seeing how I can earn a living from home, because I think if anything, this has taught us how to be a bit more disciplined working from home as well. I'm not too bad because as a writer and as a journalist and as a person who does a lot of work remotely, it wasn't much of a change of lifestyle for me.
It's been quite hard to plan, right, for the future, because you don't really know when this is gonna end. You don't know.
I think I was in quite a good situation, because before the lockdown was imposed on everybody, I was imposing my own lockdown.
Right.
After I quit my job, I wanted to take 3 months to kind of just figure out life at home on my own anyway. So I was prepared for it in a way. I think now it's just going to be extended, or it's going to be, I think we'll go back to working in a different way lah. So I think only my state of unemployment might be extended a little bit longer than I thought it would lah. I initially anticipated that I'll probably be working by June, July. Now it looks more like August, September. Yeah. Well, that's a
conservative.
No lah. It's an estimate. I don't know, because most people look posting. There are still jobs being offered out there. But things like interviews, etc., that's not going to be easy lah. And then you see a lot more rise in digital marketing.
Yes.
Digital work. So I think that's good. And the other thing that I think will change is I think our consumption habits will probably change a little bit.
Do you think that they will stay like they are now, or do you think it'll go back up again, or do you think it'll go down again, or people will be a bit more conservative?
I think at least for this year, people will be a bit more conservative
right,
because of the economic situation and the thing. But people forget very easily as well.
Yeah.
So So I think things will go back to normal, which is a bit sad for the climate change activist in me, because I'm loving this low pollution levels and all that.
Yeah.
But I think for at least for 2020, things will be a bit different lah. And I in a way, maybe the government will channel their funding towards more urgent causes lah. I mean, our healthcare system is already one of the best. So
I'm so proud. That's something that like
I'm very proud. Yeah, I'm like yeah, like all my friends in the UK, in Indonesia, even in Singapore, we are like, no, it's fine. I'm very happy because like some of my friends in the UK, they say, oh my God, you know, like what if you like want to like get out of Malaysia? I said, no, Malaysia is very good.
I'm staying. I'm not going anywhere.
In times of health crisis, I'm staying put. Thank you very much.
Just like so proud at how they've responded and how everything's come together so quickly.
Yeah, and that we are very, very prepared lah for any other fallout.
And how?
So I think that's a good thing. Yeah.
I mean, it was disheartening at the beginning. You know, there were some reports about people fighting with our medical workers, lying to them.
Yeah.
But then seems to have kind of calmed down, and people are like kind of like, okay, you know, I've got to tell the truth, and you know, and
And I think it's like I said, like I think it's Malaysian culture when you kind of like say that, you know, you need to do this. Maybe it's because we are religious as well, you know. I said that, you know, you need to do this because it is one of the fundamental things that religion preaches is to be kind to each other.
Yeah.
And if you're not doing this, you know, you're not practicing your religion well. Yeah. So I think in a way that's helped.
Yeah.
For us to but I don't know. I don't think we'll get out of this. I don't think life will go back to normal at least for 2020.
You know that people were saying that 2019 was like so terrible, and then now you're like, oh God.
I know. 2019 was the worst year of my life.
Yeah.
But I don't think 2020 is is worse than 2019.
Oh my God.
I've got the really crazy view that I'm like, I'm quite happy. I mean, at least I'm at home. I'm healthy. I'm alive.
Yeah. I think okay.
I'm not going through psychological breakdowns. So
2019 is like a personally bad year, but like 2020 is like a globally like things are
globally bad year. Yeah. But yeah, personally, but I know a lot of people who had personally very bad years in 2019.
Right. Yeah.
As well, but and they're all saying that, oh, but globally, yeah, I think 2020 will go down in history.
What are you planning to do for the rest of the day? Are you going to make that char kway teow?
I'm going to make the rice cake, yes. I'm going to get some lunch. Yesterday, my friend gave me some Korean stir fry so for dinner.
Yeah.
But she made it really spicy. And she gave me a really big portion.
Okay.
So I'm going to have that for lunch.
Yeah.
Then I have, funnily enough, a conference call with my former work people because now they've got my replacement in. It's been 24 days since I quit.
Okay.
But they want to have a con call with me, so I have half a mind to ignore it.
Yeah. Okay.
But
so
I'll take it. I'm a nice person, and it's not the team's fault that they are ladled with all this work now. So I'll be nice and take the call.
How did you cope? Like what did you use to cope when you were there in the old situation, in the old job, like in that kind of environment?
Actually, yeah, like my yoga was really good. Like the coping, the thing that actually pulled me through was my team. You always hear horror stories of millennials who are, you know, this young entitled 25-year-olds who think that their boss needs to hold their hand through a lot of things or whatever, are very lazy and entitled. But that was my team was not that, like complete opposite of that. They really pulled together for me. And then and that's why I think like when they were leaving and I decided to leave, it was kind of a situation that we saw like, if we're not in this together, we're not going to make it in a way. So it was really like these kids were my saving grace. And then they say to me that if it wasn't for me, they wouldn't have stuck around for as long as they did as well. So in a way, it was a good thing lah. And then also my yoga buddies, you know, just like people who are not in my immediate friend circle, who knew of me going through, because they knew of me going through the situation because it was very apparent on my face, on my entire, you know, demeanor and everything. So it was good like to have like outside people. But actually bar that one situation or a few people that made it very difficult for me, and then also my own conflict of purpose and impact, there were always like people came in from the outside who kind of gave me a lot of support. And I think just like talking about it lah, because for the first few months I didn't talk about it. And then when it became like very apparent on my face and on my health and on my everything lah, then people started just like noticing. So I think that's a good thing lah. I'm very lucky in the sense that I've got a huge network of good friends who always like check in on you lah.
The support system.
I think the support system is one of the main things for mental health. And it was nice. And then it was the first time like even my family, you know, like usually they are always, you know, like you need a job, you know, you need to go for your own success and strive, and you know, and this was the first time like all my parents, my siblings, my cousins, they were all like, you need to go, you need to quit this job because it's really taking a toll on you and it's very apparent. So it was
how things changed, right? Because like there we were at Alexis all those months ago before you started, and like there was so much about starting the new role, and then
I was really, I mean, like I think it's, if I didn't, I don't regret taking the job because I think I learned a lot whenever I went through as well. But career-wise, I think it's done wonders. I mean, it's a lot more focus on what I want to do,
right?
And also shown me what I don't want. And I think I've learned a lot lah, like in a sense that I've learned how to manage it as well. I think I need to manage my own subconscious reactions to stress a bit better.
Okay.
But it's just I think it's taught me quite a lot lah. I don't regret it.
And also how much you are capable of tolerating. I mean, how much you are how far you can be pushed, so to speak, right? Before like
exactly. And also like I think the one good thing that's come out of this is that I think I believe in whatever I want to do more now, because when you constantly have a toxic situation that's making you doubt yourself, it's either you go with it or you rise above it and believe in yourself more lah. But I think it's very important to have that support system to tell you that, you know, you are better than this, and you are better. And it's very strange because I think I don't know, maybe the universe was sending me like people that I don't usually talk to or whatever reached out to me during this situation, which was very surprising, and like kind of gave me ideas on how to proceed further and all that. So it was like quite a good, like the universe kind of heard my call for like help lah, I think. So there was like 3 or 4 friends that I haven't spoken to in years, you know, like people I don't usually sit down with and talk to. And they kind of like showed up, you know, and gave me a lot of advice and a lot of different way forward.
That's good. It's good to hear that. I mean, it's good to hear that. I remember when we were talking about how traumatizing that situation was, right? and
yeah,
the amount of impact that it had on you. You look and sound like, I mean, you, in a good way, I mean this in a good way, you put on weight, like on your face, right? It's like just generally the colors come back and everything. So,
now?
Yeah.
I look like I was about to, like, I was withering away. I think it's 6 more months at this job and I would have developed some kind of health situation that I probably wouldn't have come back from. So it's good lah. Like I think I'm slowly getting back to myself. I mean, it's thanks to people like you also that reached out and just said like, "How are you?" And I'm like, "I don't know, man." It was like it just really like it is people just coming out and saying, "How are you?" And and I think for the first few months I was like, I'm fine. I know I hated it, but I was fine.
We're programmed to do that though, right? We're always programmed. How are you? I'm fine.
And I mean, people are still telling me now, like, "Oh, why did you quit?" You know, young people are supposed to be able to take this. This is a given at any job. Like, well, I said, like, I'm not. First of all, I'm not that young, and second of all, no, we don't need to suffer like trauma day in, day out just to do a job that you don't even believe in. I mean, if I was working in the front lines right now and I was doing, something that benefits people and all that, I would hang on, because I believe in the cause and I am benefiting everybody else. But when I'm slaving away just for money and to benefit a company who already makes billions, not really lah. I'm like, I don't think it's life or death situation.
No, that's not worth the impact that it has on your mental health. I mean, because that's something that's very difficult to undo once the trauma has already been imprinted, right?
Yeah, and I think it was also because, like I said, I'm very protective of my team and all that, and I could see how it was affecting them. Yeah. And then them watching me, who was trying to protect them from a lot of it, or was trying to fight for them, and then them watching me also like fighting a losing battle, or it's affecting me. It was like, I said, this is not a situation that's good for your own career, because if you've been, you are at the beginning of your career, I'm in the middle of and I said, like, this is not something you can learn from. And I was reading a lot of articles and I was like, if it's not teaching you anything, why stay on? So I wasn't learning anything from that situation other than how much I can take.
And there are other situations which are less traumatic.
Yeah, and professionally, it wasn't teaching me anything. It was just more of a toxic situation. So, and it wasn't progressing my career.
Yeah.
So I said, it's not really, it's not worth your. Yeah, exactly. You said, like, it's not worth your mental health for something that you cannot bounce back from. Or, I mean, if for me, it was more my physical health as well. So, I mean, I would have been more prone to COVID-19 because I was already in a situation where my immune system was low. I was falling sick all the time. Yeah, what's the point of that? I said that it's not going to help my career if I can't actually work. Yeah. So, I think being healthy and jobless is better than being unhealthy with a job that you hate,
It was really nice to see you. I mean, even if it was for this thing.
Yeah, it's nice. At least it's giving me something to do this Monday. Other than my conference call with my job that hasn't ended.
Oh, God. Let me know how that goes. You'll be like,
no, they say it's going to be a 15 to 20 minute call, but I think I'm going to cut it shorter. And I'm like, there's not much I can do because I have no access to my computer anyway. So, yeah.
Okay.
Which is a good thing. It was a good thing.
Yeah. No, it was really nice to talk to you. And
yeah, nice to see you as well. Are you at KFR? You're at KFR, right?
Yeah, I'm in my room actually.
Oh, say hello to everybody there. I think Sharon and everybody else is there, right?
No, they're not. They're all back in their places. Yeah. It's
okay.
KFR residents staying here. Okay. Well, yeah. It was really nice to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you.
We can do this again soon.
Can.
Huh?
I mean, I just let me know.
We're not going anywhere anyway.
Not for the next 2 weeks at least.
You know what? It's definitely going to get extended again. I'm so confident it will get extended.
Yeah, because they're doing so well, I think they're doing so well. I hope that they don't lose the momentum. Because now it's below 50 every day, which is still very good now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Bye.
Nice to see that you're doing okay also.
All well.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.